So let's dive a little bit deeper into, you just talked about how physically for 2 or 3 years you worked your ass off, um, and thinking that, all right, if I work hard in the gym, if I work hard hitting more balls, if I work hard, I'm going to succeed at some point. And obviously it came to a point where it just came crashing down. So what did you do mentally? Like, what was something that you learnt, and how did you work hard mentally to get to that point where you came to Wellington with this, and being a teammate of yours playing against you for 10, 15 years, definitely when you came at the start of that season, I think in the warm-up games you got 300s, you hit me over my head for one of the biggest sixes, and it just felt like that, okay, Jimmy's here, the presence of Jimmy Neesham is here, but it didn't feel like it didn't feel like you were overexerting yourself, but there was just like an energy around you where you were refreshed, mentally. You knew what you're doing. So what did you talk to someone? Did you learn some new techniques? What was something that you incorporated into your, comeback?
It's hard to kind of quantify because there's so many different, I suppose, moving parts. But Paula Denon was the woman I talked to in Auckland. She's actually a clinical psychologist, not a sports psychologist. The problems I was having wasn't cricket related. It was sort of life outlook related, and about how much pressure I was putting on myself. And as well as anyone that cricket's an imperfect game. You can't solve it. It's always going to find ways to sort of bite you. And I was just obsessed with perfection, because that was how I saw my path back into the Blackcaps. I believed in my head that I was better than everyone I was playing against. So therefore I needed to be perfect. Yeah. I needed to be scoring 100 every second innings.
Off 60 balls.
Off 60 balls.
Yeah.
Even sometimes if I was going nicely and I sort of chunked a half volley to mid off, that was enough to just throw me, because I'd go, what went wrong there? Instead of just going, it's cricket, it's an imperfect game, you play average shots. What was going wrong there? What's my backlift doing? And I'd sort of be analysing all these things while I was playing, and then eventually I'd get out because I'd actually completely lost focus of what was happening in the game. The big thing for me was just learning to forgive myself for making mistakes. I think when you're a perfectionist, you can spiral out of control sometimes, and you go way too far in the opposite direction. And it's good to be a perfectionist to an extent, trained to be perfect, but you have to understand that you're never going to be perfect. And the human brain, especially mine, can get so warped. I remember specifically in one of my nets in Otago before I left, obviously, I was batting. And I was, in hindsight now, I was absolutely crunching it.
Yeah.
Batting like a dream, just absolutely pumping everything. And actually some of the guys I remember at the back of the net sort of stopped and were just watching. And it was sort of like short ball, massive six, full massive six on the ground.
Into the net.
Into the net. Just sort of absolutely pummeling everything.
Yeah.
And I was not happy. I'd hit 3 massive sixes in a row, and then chunk one, and I'd just swear at myself and talk about how I was so shit. That sort of thing. I remember walking out, and the guy who'd been flicking to me was a bloke who'd come over from England, and he was kind of an assistant coach helper.
Yeah. And
he'd been flicking to me for however long it was. And I walked out, and he goes, mate, that's unbelievable net, mate. I'm like, never seen anything like it, and kind of glove punched me. And I went, thanks, mate. I remember walking off and thinking, you just think back because you're so shit at flicking.
Yeah.
It was just like, you don't realise how bad a flicker you are, and that's why I was able to pump you so badly.
Yeah.
There's such like a warp, there's always like a reason that your mind flips it to not give yourself any credit for doing well. And I look back now, and if I had a net like that now, I'd be laughing in the net and walk out and, go have a coffee or whatever and really big myself up and go, yeah, that's a great net, like move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Whereas even the flickering moments where things went really well were still not enough.
Yeah.
And when you're playing a game where you're so up and down normally, if you can't even appreciate your ups, you're just going to go down consistently. that's one of the big ones for me now. Is forgiving myself for making mistakes, letting them go. Obviously it's a cliche, but just letting mistakes go, not trying to figure out why they happened or what was going on. Just go, shit shot, laugh about it, let it go to the next one. And I think the more you can do that, the fresher you can stay mentally as far as staying right where you are. And I mean right where you are.
Staying present.
Not even what do I need to do in 5 hours time.
Yeah.
Like what do I need to do right now? And that's how one of the things I've used to just try and break out of those mental funks.
Yeah. Do you use that? You incorporate that in your life as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. Try and keep my mind where my feet are.
Yeah.
Big time. And I think it's one of those sports where so much happens externally around you. You can speak of any number of examples. The Blackcaps in Perth right now, or Sydney now, or Melbourne now. How much do I care about what's happening there? Because reality is it does have a big effect on your career. These things that happen outside of your control. IPL option in a couple of nights. Is that a life-changing moment? Do you stress out about that? What team is CD bringing for the game tomorrow? All these things are external, and it's so natural to go, geez, I hope this happens, or I hope that happens, or if this happens and then this happens, then I might be back in that team, or whatever. Whereas none of that's relevant. For me, it's just about trying to enjoy my life, whether that's cricket is a success or not. Try to enjoy my life, train well, train hard, leave nothing to chance, but understand that things will be to chance, and think more about how much you're enjoying the present rather than how your life could be, or if that hadn't happened that way, would I have $1 million more in my bank account now, or whatever, all that external junk. Try and ignore that as much as possible and then just sort of move on.
Yeah.